Folks, it is week 18. A lot of NFL teams don't care, but I would never do that to you. Going to be joined today by Mr. Rich Hribar. We are going to pick lots of NFL games. We're going to pick some props. Going to head on over to Unabated, do some DFS pick'em entries. Let's get after it. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer. All right, Reebs, man. We made it, dude. We did it. We got through the regular season in 2024. It's week 18. You didn't even have to do the worksheet this week, man. What are you doing without the worksheet? What does that even look like for you, brother?
I still did the DFS stuff and everything, but yeah, it was just with the amount of teams that had already clinched stuff, and not fantasy not being like really prevalent. It's like, and then New Year's on Tuesday, Wednesday, it was just a mess. So yeah, it was nice, man. It was nice. I'll be back. I'll still be writing up the playoff games, but it was nice to have a little bit of a reprieve.
Oh yeah, we got to keep firing this for the playoff. I mean, we'll pick every game. That's what we do. Is we pick every game when we get into the playoffs. Look, there are
if you thought the takes were bad during the regular season.
Oh, just buddy, you wait, man. How are you feeling about the playoffs right now? I mean, I basically think these are the teams that can win the Super Bowl: the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Vikings, the Eagles. If the Lions lose this game and they got to play these games on the road, I think they're cooked. But I would include the Lions in that. But the Lions is the 5 seed having to play on the road 3 games. I don't know. That feels thin to me. How are you feeling about the playoffs?
I feel good about it. I feel like the amount of teams here on each side of each conference that can come out are it's not limited. I don't think. I think we can, like you said, if the Ravens win, if the Bills win, obviously it all still flows through the Chiefs. Like no one's going to be betting against the Chiefs at this point, especially now that at the end of the season, it's like, here we come again, man. It's like, here we go. Chiefs are getting the house in order. I saw Jalen Watson is designated to return from IR. It's just like, oh, here we go.
Hollywood's back, man.
Here we go.
I've been saying this on shows for the last couple of weeks. I saw 4 snaps of Hollywood Brown, and I was like, oh, they're back. It's like they are just fully the Kansas City Chiefs again. Swapping Justin Watson out for Hollywood Brown. Like just the ability to have someone who can just kind of get open on third down, just like another guy who could just get open on. And the Chiefs were already. It's so funny. We were like, oh, dude, the Chiefs, they stink. They're terrible. They literally, while they were terrible, they were 12-1 and led the NFL in conversion rate on third down. So like even the shitty Chiefs are pretty dang good. How are you feeling about week 18, man? How are you feeling about picking these games this week?
Not good at all. It's a pretty, I mean, the list of quarterbacks that are playing this week is absolutely incredible.
It is. But of course we are, of course we're going to.
I wonder how the worst quarterback we've seen play in the last 2 years, DTR, got removed as the starter, and somehow the line got worse for the Browns.
That is really, it's really phenomenal. Yeah. The worst quarterback we've seen. I was just saying this yesterday. I don't think I have ever seen an 11 team total before in an NFL game. I don't think
the Kendall Hinton game is the one.
The Kendall Hinton game. So what the market is telling us is that DTR is basically as good as Kendall Hinton. People forget we started Kendall Hinton that week
in FFPC at wide receiver.
Yeah,
thought we were sharp. Not sharp at all.
Yeah, we thought we were brilliant. Reebs, take it away, man. You may and we can include the Saturday games if you would like. The one of the Saturday games is on my list, but I will turn it over to you. You can have whomever you want.
Listen. These first couple are just kind of for fun. It's
it's sweaty. It's sweaty.
For the LOLs, I've got the Patriots plus 2.5. +3 some places you can get it still. I don't know if it's still +3 anywhere. I think it's 2.5 just about everywhere. But just for the LOLs, we got a first-year head coach, Jared Mayo, against just a bunch of backups. Like it's definitely going to happen, right? Like they're going to lose the first pick.
Yes, yeah, because it's even funnier that they will lose their first pick after being gifted the first pick last week. Like it could not be more perfect to have gotten the first pick totally on accident, basically, that the Giants give it up. And then for Gerard Mayo to do the Lovie Smith thing of winning the meaningless final game to screw his former employers. Although it sounds like maybe Gerard Mayo will be back, which is
He's coming back, they said.
why? What good could that possibly do?
I mean, nothing.
What's the deal, man? This is supposed to be one of the storied franchises of the National Football League. What the hell's going on, man? What are we doing, Rich? You can't get on board.
But we're probably going to see a lot of Trubisky after Josh Allen extends this.
We are going to see a lot of Trubisky. Yeah, that's happening.
Lineman, no Deion Dawkins. Yeah. I mean, it just feels like for the LOLs, I had to put it there though.
Yeah, I got no issue. My number 5 is also a similarly LOL level 1. Figured we might as well do it one last time. I'm taking not the Arizona Cardinals, but the San Francisco 49ers on the road at the Cardinals. Now, Dobbs is starting, but as of right now, it is Friday, January 3rd, 10:07 a.m. Central Time. It seems like all the guys are playing. It seems like Kittle's going to play, Debo, Jennings, they're all going to play. Now, maybe they won't, and I would feel a lot worse about this pick if it's Josh Dobbs with Patrick Taylor Jr., Jacob Cowing, and Chris Conley. But if it's the 49ers starters, we've basically seen Dobbs be competent enough.
It's a Dobbs revenge game.
Yeah, Dobbs. It is a Dobbs revenge game, and it's like
he's played for every team.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's Josh Dobbs is Reebs. Josh Dobbs is our generation's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Really is what's going on here. But basically, I mean, I think the San Francisco 49ers are the better team. They are, 1 through 53. They are the way better team. I mean, not having Purdy is a pretty big deal, and I guess you could argue the Cardinals would be familiar with Dobbs's work, but they should be able to run against this Cardinals team. Like the 49ers offense plays in perfectly to what the Cardinals allow on defense, that bend, don't break stuff. And just one final opportunity to bet against Kyler Murray on the air. So 49ers, you can get this at plus 4.5 pretty much everywhere. It's 4.5 at DraftKings, 4.5 on FanDuel. So you can get 4.5 pretty much everywhere.
I mean, this will be a fun DFS game too. I mean, because Dobbs will be, your prototype.
Yeah, what's your lean on this for DFS?
Yeah, I mean, you've got Dobbs at 4K is you get rushing. So I think of all the QB vagabonds, he's probably the most appealing one because of the rushing. And then you can also stack him really cheaply if you want to do something like Jennings. Because remember, he played college with Jennings. They played at Tennessee. Yes. Jennings had a 7-touchdown season with Dobbs. And it was only one drive, but Dobbs targeted him 75% of the time on Monday night when he came in the game. And Jennings needs 73 or 77 yards for 1,000 yards. Kyle Shanahan already brought it up that they're going to try to get him at. So Jennings is like a cheap stacking guy. And even if you wanted to double and say, what if they play Pearsall more and chase those Monday night points? Jennings, Pearsall plus Dobbs is under 14K on DraftKings, which is like a pretty insane for a double. Because you only need 40 DraftKings points out of those guys to hit at that spot, and like that's pretty doable.
Well, it's so funny because either this slate the scores will be insane, like the scores will be so high it'll be like a bunch of the cheap guys go totally nuclear, or like 167 will be like,
I lean there. By the way, I lean the latter.
I lean the latter as well. Yeah. But I do think there are potential
you're going to see
in this game.
The one thing we always see in week 18 from a large field tournament stance is that people get too cute with these week 18 picks, right? Like
always.
Always. So I think the scores will probably end up lower, as Local Man says before he gets Shadow Realm this weekend by Will Shipley.
Oh yeah, Will Shipley is a phenomenally good example of this. Okay. Reebs, that was my number 5. Spoiler alert, I do have the Falcons and the Buccaneers on mine. So whenever you get to those, we can talk
I do have the Buccaneers on mine too.
Okay, so you don't have the Falcons. All right.
I don't have the Falcons.
What's your number 4?
My number 4, as I'm assuming we're heads up on this one, is the Steelers. I assume you have the Bengals.
Yes, yeah, we are heads
I
up.
figured, yeah.
The Bengals are my 2.
Yeah, and I don't blame you for wanting to root for the Bengals, but it's probably pretty over for them. I mean, they might not have Chase Brown. This line feels crazy to me. Like, how are the Steelers dogs in this game?
Because the Steelers are not any good at football,
But they're
and
not good against the elite teams. But they're they lost 3 games in a row to the Eagles, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. And they're at home against the team that they already went to Cincinnati and they were up 17 points in the 4th quarter against them. Chase Brown might not play. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand this line.
Look, as much as I love Chase Brown, and I love I love Chase Brown, but I don't know if I'm sweating the difference between him and Khalil Herbert all that much in this game. I'll let you do your spiel, then I will do my spiel. And
I just don't understand how the Steelers aren't favored in this game. Like, this is like a classic game, like the Steelers win. They're playing for the 5 seed because they want to play the Texans and not the Ravens again. Like, Tomlin's already said that they're going to go all out. The Bengals can't stop anyone. Look at all the stuff they needed to happen to go right to beat Bo Nix at home. Like, I don't understand this line. I think the Steelers should be favored.
So I don't think the Steelers should be favored because in any scenario where they find themselves behind, it is over. It is completely 100% over. Russell Wilson actually did kind of make some things happen as a rusher last week, which I thought that was the strangest possible thing. I just thought that was so bizarre to see them, to see Russell Wilson making plays outside the pocket. But passing output per game for Mr. Russell Wilson, 134 yards against the Cowboys, 110 against the Raiders, 260 against the Jets, 250 against the Giants.
Wait till you get to this matchup.
I was going to say, so his only the year was that game against the Bengals. But basically, I just don't buy that is particularly repeatable.
He's not going to throw for 400, but I bet he throws for 275.
So what happened in that game was the Bengals very easily actually probably could have won that game, but then the Steelers got a fumble 6. In my imagination, I think the Bengals come out, get up 10-0, and that's kind of just all she wrote. The Steelers try and run the ball too much. They don't play into what is weak about the Bengals. And of course I could be wrong. But it's just to me it's crazy, Rich, that this team, that this Joe Burrow season with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, that they could just go out with a whimper. Like, sure, they aren't going to make the playoffs because the Broncos are not going to lose to the Chiefs. They're 10.5-point favorites at home. But just the idea that they end, like, the last time we ever see Joe Burrow and T. Higgins on the field together is just like a 17-28 loss against the Steelers. I don't know. And Burrow, for how bad the team is, Burrow is playing like just great football. He other than the sacks, dude, the sacks. No one wants to admit it's a problem. You ever do Joe Burrow discourse on Twitter, Rich?
Not about that life.
I got a
discourse on Twitter anymore.
I got a good stat for you. 2 quarterbacks have a higher sack rate on third down last 3 seasons than Joe Burrow. Do you know whomst those quarterbacks are? They're the 2 funniest possible answers.
Are they guys that played both years?
One of them, no. One of them is only.
One is Caleb Williams.
So he didn't have enough dropbacks for the filter I ran. It's Bryce Young. It's Bryce Young, and it's Russell Wilson. Caleb would obviously definitely be worse. Obviously, he would be twice what Burrow is.
Even this year in this Burrow season, only 2 quarterbacks have more EPA lost on sacks than Burrow, and it's Caleb and Stroud. It's always been a thing with Burrow, and he's been like the one guy that's kind of like overcome it to a degree versus some of the other elite guys. Like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have been amazing this year. They don't take sacks.
Josh Allen has fewer sacks than games played.
And that's one of the weird things about this Chiefs team is that Mahomes actually has this year is the sack Mahomes year. He was always a demon, and this year he's taken a lot of sacks.
Just like, I don't know, is that his fault? Is it the offensive line? Is it a little bit of both? It's probably a little bit of both.
I mean, the interior of their line's good. It's just left tackle, it's been a disaster. Now they have Tooney playing out there.
It's just all coming together for them at the right time. All right. I
knew we'd be heads up on that one though, because you like the fun. You like to have fun.
And I'm
you want to root for fun things. I get it.
I'm such a sucker for the Bengals. Joe Burrow and his stupid outfits. I do love it. It's so funny because I hate the Bengals. I really do. But I don't dislike.
Let me see, if they lose this game, how hot is the seat for Zach Taylor?
Not that hot, because
that's what I think too. Yeah, because the Bengals, they're not going to. Because
the Bengals don't fire. The Bengals don't. Look how often Marvin Lewis got to keep his job. Look at how look at some of the seasons where Marvin Lewis got to keep his job. It's really.
I mean, the dream job is the Ben Johnson job is the Bengals. That's like where if we could just put him to a place, that's where it would be.
Yeah. He's probably gonna be Ben Johnson's gonna be the Patriots coach, or no? I guess I
think he'll cherry pick it still. I don't know if he'll take any of these jobs, man. I think he can still cherry pick.
He should go.
Maybe the Bears, but who wants that job?
I would want it if I was Ben Johnson, but I'm the last Caleb Williams believer left on earth. All right.
That feels like the Bears and the Jets jobs just feel like they're just like, you just have to wear so much like baggage, like historical baggage.
Baggage.
And it's just like, I can't deal with this.
Yes. All right. What is your number?
That was my
four. That was
you
your
hit
four.
me.
All right.
You hit me.
Yes. All right.
We know we both have the Bucs.
Yeah, my number 4 is the Atlanta Falcons at what is a bit of an absurd number, 8.5 points against the Panthers. But this is just kind of your classic motivation versus no motivation. The Steelers are the Steelers. The Panthers are really running out of steam. Like the things that were seeming enticing about them 2 weeks ago. And I've been on this. I've been on this for the last 2 weeks. Like, I just don't super believe in the Bryce Cold renaissance that's going on there. They can't run the ball at all. Like, you remove Chuba Hubbard and you've got no ability to generate, and it's like going to be Miles Sanders this week in the backfield. Penix has been shaky for sure. Like, I don't think he's come in and
he's going to throw 22 passes this game.
Exactly. It's just going to be Bijan and Algier. The Panthers have the worst run defense imaginable. It's like, if the Falcons don't cover here, I've got real concerns. I mean, it just feels, and I know 8.5 is a lot, but it feels pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to run all over them. It's going to be like the script 2 weeks ago when they were at home against the Giants. Just not ask Penix to really make a lot of mistakes, run the ball successfully, try to get a couple turnovers. I mean, obviously, I think the Carolina is going to put more of an offensive fight than the Giants did in that game, but I don't really have any issues with it. I just didn't love it.
Yeah. All right. What is your 3?
I mean, on FanDuel, do you prefer Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson?
Gibbs. There's going to be so many points in that game. That game's going over the 57 point total.
I don't think you can make a lineup on FanDuel without Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you just 100% him.
I would agree with that. I don't know. You got to play Jefferson. It's because there's cheap. Yeah. There's cheap guys to play too.
Yeah, I love that. So, yeah, I don't know. My next one is I have the Bucs at 3, and only because of the line, but I don't even think it's going to matter. It is a huge number, but I mean, they're going to dog walk them, especially if Rattler plays again. And we just see this, like, this iteration of the Saints offense is just not. It's just unserious business.
It's perhaps the least serious I've seen an NFL team behave.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire might be getting like a bunch of run this week.
Yeah, like really not ideal there. And the great thing about betting on you said the Buccaneers was your 3.
Yeah. Only because it's such a huge number, but
so the great thing about the Buccaneers is they keep pouring it on.
They score a ton of points.
They have no interest in settling it down, and they have like reasons to do so. So Mike Evans obviously has the contract incentives. Baker leads the NFL in passing touchdowns the last 2 seasons. I mean, the guy is just balling out. But yeah, like they're a team that that team they're still throwing the ball up. You know, they're up 20 in the second half, and they're like, Devin Culp, you want a touchdown, brother? Max Payne, you want a touchdown? Let's just go ahead and get in the box. You've got
Liam
like
Cohen is going to be the dude that gets the job, like one of these jobs. Like Liam Cohen's definitely getting a job. I think he wants it.
You think Liam Cohen leaves?
I think it's up to him. Like if he wants to take one of these, I think he's going to be at the very top behind Ben Johnson for a lot of teams.
Yeah, I guess honestly, I just really don't know that much about him and his level.
I mean, he basically got Will Levis drafted.
Right out of Kentucky.
I mean, look at what he's done this season. I mean, he worked under McVay too, so it's another McVay coaching tree dude. So it's like, yeah, I think he's definitely and he might be a cheaper version of Ben Johnson, to be honest.
He really might be a cheaper version of Ben Johnson. Although I think Ben Johnson, obviously, it's like more provable how good he's been. You know,
I mean,
like,
what he's done with the moving parts there, and obviously Baker's, renaissance these past 2 years has been tied to two different coaches, but they had, they lost Godwin in the middle of the season. They lost Evans for like that stretch. They were rotating some rookie wide receivers. They brought out the ghost of Sterling Shepard. He was running like a lot of pony personnel with, Bucky Irving and Rashad White and made that work successfully. The Buccaneers, low key, we talked about all the passing stuff. They've been a really efficient run game like the entire season. And it's been really good. And their offensive line isn't good. So, like, yeah, I think Liam Cohen is definitely be very much on the short list for a lot of people when these interviews open up and they can actually interview him.
Yeah, I guess heading into this, it's just one of those things where I'm trying to wrap my mind around it because he was not one of the names who was on the short list to begin the year. Like his just resume was not that long. And I guess just because the sample size has been smaller, I'd be a little bit worried. But did you see the story yesterday that Cliff is going to interview for the Bears job? Maybe.
I would say this: whoever the Bears hire, I think Caleb should have input.
Oh yeah,
and we don't see this ever happen, but yeah, you should try to max because you're tied to Caleb trying to max out. And Caleb's shortcomings aren't going to fix themselves. The shit Caleb does bad, you have to work around that because like that stuff doesn't fix itself.
That's true. And obviously Caleb and Cliff have a working relationship because Cliff was his offensive coordinator at USC.
Right.
So he would know if he likes that or not. I don't know. I don't know about doing the Cliff experience again.
No, I wouldn't, but hey.
I would argue it's probably.
But I think Caleb should have
suboptimal.
input of like, what he wants to do and how they're gonna run things. But like I said,
yeah.
I don't have a ton of confidence though.
Okay.
That they're gonna do the right thing.
So that was that was my number one. The Buccaneers. Okay. The Buccaneers were my number one. There's just God, would I be stunned? God, would I be stunned if that one doesn't come out? I agree with this, honestly. I think this would be a concern for me too, that Baker is actually just really good. And
he was the number one pick in the draft, like when he came out in 2018, right? Like,
yes, correct.
And we know he's talented. And at that point, that rookie season, he had set the original record for passing touchdowns by a rookie quarterback on the Browns. Like, who were his receivers that year? Who's he thrown to that year? That wasn't the year? That was the year after Pryor had 1,000 yards, right?
I don't remember the time frame of how that panned out, honestly. But yeah, he
threw 28 touchdowns, right? His first year with the Browns. Is that what it was with the record?
28 touchdowns, 28 interceptions. No, 14 interceptions. The year
Who's the leading receiver on that team? I gotta look it up.
Okay, the leading
Jarvis
receiver,
Landry was the leading wide receiver.
My God. And David Njoku was number 2.
Antonio Callaway.
The prior season,
Rashad Perriman,
Deshaun Kaiser. The Browns went 0-16.
Yeah, that was
I literally don't remember that. I literally do not remember the Browns 0-16 season.
So funny story about the Browns 0-16 season. So I was working at Roto-World at the time, and we get assigned games that you have to blurb. And no lie, RotoPack gave me the Browns like every week because like he just thought because I lived in Cleveland I'd want to do it. And then, so they were going into that week going to be 0-16. And the final end of season blurbs, you do kind of like a write up, like based on how the season went. Like, it's not just like David Njoku had 2 catches for 40 yards. You basically like recap the season. Evan purposely asked Rotopat if he could have the Browns game because he just wanted to go in on like Hugh Jackson and the Browns on like everything they did. So like he requested that game. If you remember it, they almost won. I think RG3 started. And Corey Coleman dropped a pass that like would have potentially had them win the game. But like Evan asked for that game because he just wanted to drag Hugh Jackson and the Browns. Hugh Jackson also said he was going to jump into the lake if they went 0-16, and he did.
He did jump in the lake?
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him for jumping in the lake.
Hugh Jackson also did a cameo after that. Like, remember the website Cameo where you could like get like,
oh, like, yes.
Someone I think did a Hugh Jackson thing for some. It was like a Twitter bit, and like it was hilarious. I forget what it was. I had to find it, but
God, we've been doing this for a long time. Those are just it's true. It's true. It's just like people mention the 0-16 Lions season all the time, and there's the Orlovsky running out of the end zone and everything. But I feel like the 0-16 Browns, I feel like that was just kind of in one ear out the other for me, I suppose.
It was a very nondescript, like, bad team.
Yeah, I can barely
Browns
remember
RG3. Do you even remember the Browns RG3 experiment? Like,
I do remember the Browns RG3 experiment, but Deshaun Kaiser was the starting quarterback that season,
right.
and I don't remember him at all.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. It's just that team was bad, man. It was real rough. But then Baker turned it around. Like, Baker immediately got them, because I think they went to the playoffs the second year of Baker's career, or second or third, and they won. Because I think that was whatever the year they hired Stefanski, right? And then they beat the Steelers in the playoffs. Like, they whopped the Steelers in the playoffs.
My God. What a time. What a time that was to be alive. Remember Antonio Callaway getting disciplined and having to play in the fourth quarter of a preseason game? Remember that? And
also, this is the second time Antonio Callaway came up with us, because I think we drafted a team this preseason. We had like who was it? We were looking up DeMarcus Robinson's teammates on the Florida team, and Antonio Callaway was the leading receiver.
Was there. DeMarcus Robinson, by the way, 0 receptions in the fantasy football playoffs. None.
King. What a king.
What a king. Vandy, thank you, sir, for the membies. Appreciate you, brother. All right. My 3, Reebs, is the Philadelphia Eagles minus 2.5 points. As long as we're doing who cares bowls, I will go with the who cares bowls of the Eagles second string. How many Eagles second string players would start for the
They're
Giants?
Still favored.
That's what I'm saying. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles second stringers against the Giants.
How down bad are the Giants that the Eagles are not even playing any of their dudes? They're underdogs.
I mean, the Eagles are, it's just classic. They are just going to totally run. They are just going to suffocate the life out of this game. The Giants are going to have, and by the way, what would the line be if Drew Lock had not done that last week? If Drew Lock had not thrown, what do you have, 5 touchdowns last week? Yeah, that's not happening again. Like the Giants, I don't know how they had life in that game. It's one of the most embarrassing things for the organization of the Indianapolis Colts that game was even allowed to take place. But the Eagles are just going to. The thing about Nick Sirianni coach teams is that they're coached well. Like Tanner McKee being able to come off the bench like that and be prepared to run the offense.
Yeah, Sirianni is just a goober.
Like, he's a goober, but he's a good
head coach though.
Yes. Yeah.
He's just a goober.
I think that they are a much more serious organization than the New York Giants. And the Giants, by the way, it's like all hands on deck. Winning this game would be one of the biggest disasters in franchise history. Like they already screwed themselves last year or last week. So if they win this game, I don't exactly know how the tiebreakers go, but they get into a morass with Jacksonville, Carolina, the Jets, the Raiders, and the Bears. It could be really bad for them. They would have to mean, how much would they have to pay to get to the 101 or the 102 to get Shadur or Cam Ward? I mean, it would be a huge disaster for
Here's
them.
the real thing. I can't wait for this discourse. Neither one of those quarterbacks are going first, right?
Yeah, they're not. No, they will. That's just how it works. You think Hunter goes first?
I think he could. He could.
Well, Hunter could go first because the Patriots have no need to take a quarterback, and they would be happy with Travis Hunter, so that would be fine.
And if the Browns get the first pick, they probably don't take either quarterback either.
No, definitely not. No, yeah, if the Browns get the first pick, they will.
Well, if the Patriots get the first pick, that I don't even know if there's a pick like people would. That's got to be a trade down, right? Like that would have to be a trade down.
The thing I think about the Patriots is they just might not trade down because they're so stupid.
I mean, the Patriots would, if they have the pick 101, they have to. They just need too many things.
They need too many things. They have no offensive line.
I haven't done enough on this draft to know about the non-skill players, though. To know
that's the thing. I don't know either.
To know if there's like an elite edge, like or something like that.
There's supposed to be a lot of elite edges. There's supposed to be like multiple good edge players. There's like the guy from Penn State, Abdul Carter. There's
I don't know
about the offensive line.
At this stage of where I'm at right now, just getting to week 18, I don't know enough about the college ball.
Yeah. I've started to watch the rookies and look into some of the rookie stuff.
So I've watched Shadur play though, and I've got concerns. I've definitely watched a lot of Colorado the last couple of years. I've got concerns.
Yeah. All right. That was my 3. The Buccaneers were my 1. The Bengals were my 2. I'm done. I'm out. I'm out of games.
You're out of games?
Yeah, because I had the 49ers, I had the Bengals, I had the Falcons, I had the Bucs, I had the Eagles. Those are my 5.
I've got the Commanders because Dan Quinn already said that they want to protect that seed, which makes sense. You know, obviously this year the seeding actually in both conferences does matter quite a bit. I mean, you do not want to play Detroit or you don't want to play who would it be? They'd play the Bucs if they hold. So like that's definitely a big deal. He said they're going to try out. And also Jaden Daniels has been awesome like the past month. Like the past month, he's been incredible. And we just saw the Cowboys. They couldn't stop Kenny Pickett or Tanner McKee. So
no, but didn't you hear Micah Parsons? He said if you take away the scoreboard, the game was pretty close.
Just take away the scoreboard. So I have that one. And then I do have the Seahawks too on mine. You got Mike McDonald, first-year head coach, could wrap up a 10-win season if they win against the team resting their players. You've got a bunch of incentives on the Seattle side too. Geno, DK, and JSN are all going for different incentives this year. JSN can break the reception record for the franchise. DK needs 60 receiving yards. Geno has like 4 different escalators he can hit that they said they're going to try to get him. So I actually think like all these things line up and McVay doesn't give a shit if he loses this game. So,
which feels like maybe a bit of a mistake.
I think so too. I would agree with you.
I'm
actually shocked that they're resting guys. I mean, to a degree, I mean, I get it. You don't want anyone hurt, like, and they're in and they've got older guys. But I do feel like them just outright resting guys is kind of, because I think seeding matters because if they lose, right, and they go to the 6th seed, they'll play who? Or they play they go to the 4 seed, they play who? They play the loser of this game on Sunday night. I'm sorry. They play the loser. If they lose this game, they play the loser of Vikings Lions. They did beat the Vikings earlier in LA, so maybe they're like, we don't give a shit.
This is the projected bracket right now. This would be with the Rams winning this game though.
No, I have it up too. Yeah, on my thing. They play the loser of the Sunday night game now, assuming they lose.
Yeah,
and they're right now. They're 6.5 point underdogs because they've already said they're not playing anybody.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, it really does feel like a mistake, man. It really does feel like a mistake to not care about this.
And I get it; they're just trying to be healthy, right? Like he's like, well, we're gonna have to beat these good teams anyways. Let's just make sure everyone's healthy. But yeah, I mean, playing the Vikings and the Lions though versus playing the what is it? It would be the Commanders. Like feels like.
Yeah. Ugh. And then what would you say your 2 was? You had the Seahawks and who?
The Commanders.
Okay. So the Commanders, that I think is a layup, but dude, honestly, how sick would it be for Trey Lance to get a start? Can we just get a Trey Lance start? It's week 18.
He's got to play, right?
Why would he not?
I mean, he hasn't yet. That's why, but
yeah, I just, man, I do really want to watch Trey Lance play football in the year of our Lord 2025. He deserves it. We've gotten
I don't know.
all.
You just see it.
Come on, dude. Trey Lance is still younger than Bo Nix.
5 weeks ago, I might have said yes, but like, what are we gonna get from a Week 18 Trey Lance throwing passes to Jalen Tolbert? Like, I can't. I don't like if he was playing with CeeDee Lamb and like we could have maybe got to see like could he do anything? But like,
Could he
what
do
is
anything?
this? What are we gonna see? What are we gonna see out of Trey? What could he? I don't need it. But fair enough.
I need it. I do need it. I would like to see Trey Lance, I also like, Trey Lance for fantasy for DFS this weekend. It just gives us another option. Like people are going to be out here playing Josh Dobbs,
In cash, yeah. I mean, you can also just play if you want to play DFS for real this weekend. You still can play Baker, Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold if you're on FanDuel, Goff. Like you could actually play good players with like high upsides still too if you want.
I mean, yeah, like I'll probably play a ton of Baker, but like if you get the slappy 4K quarterback guy who's right.
I mean, Overzet's playing Dobbs, right? Is he in the shell?
I don't know if so like right now, I think Dobbs is in the shell, but I think ultimately what's going to end up happening to the shell is every projections provider is going to decide that there's one 3K wide receiver who's the nuts. Could be Tyrell Shavers, could be Nico Remigio, maybe Tyler Johnson, actually. If Jordan Whittington is banged up and doesn't play, could definitely be Tyler Johnson for the Rams. Could be, it could be anybody. But when that happens, then it'll be back to you put Baker Mayfield back in the shell. Baker's who I want to play in cash.
I mean, I think you definitely want to play the running backs that are locked in. I think that's where people are going to get cute and try to play like Michael Carter or Quorum or Ray Davis. And no, not account too that those guys are also playing with backups, but like you can just play Bijan Robinson, Bucky Irving. If you're on FanDuel, Jahmyr Gibbs, like those guys are smashes.
What is your general approach to DFS this week? Like, is there a backup spot that you like? Is there a backup spot you're really excited to fade? What about we literally have not mentioned this game yet, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Indianapolis Colts. Like what did you make of Downs going to 0 last week? Like the Colts playing a bunch of 12 personnel out of nowhere. That was crazy.
I mean, still, that game is still very appealing to try to onslaught. I mean, I think they scored 71 points in the rain the first match. Trevor Lawrence played in that game, though. So we're not expecting that type of run out, but it's a great stack 'em up game because no one's expensive except for BTJ, and BTJ is still worth paying that price for, especially on DraftKings where you don't have Jefferson or Amon-Ra. Just look at the high price receivers. It's literally Mike Evans and BTJ are like the only dudes. It's a huge drop off.
There's there's no expensive guys who are.
That's why I just want to play Bijan and Bucky though. But that's why I want to just play Bijan and Bucky if I'm on DraftKings.
Well, look how easy it is to do so. Bijan, let's just do.
But people are going to play like Quorum and stuff, dude.
You can do all of this, and then if you go Shavers, and
yeah, but see, I don't want to play Shavers. I can play good players still.
You gotta if you want Baker, Bijan, Bucky, and Evans, you gotta play one dust ball. You gotta play at least one dust ball, and you probably have to play a dust ball tight end too, which is fine. Do you have a favorite dust ball tight end? I don't mind Hendershot.
Yeah, I would say that you can just put Dobbs on this team though with the best surrounding cast he's ever had, and he runs.
But what if
I don't
the
want to play
course.
Shavers. I don't want to play a receiver that's not like, I don't want to play a dude that might not have any points.
No, my experience in week 18 is that generally you got to get the 3K guy right.
But you do it at running back where you can just play opportunity forward because the receivers are still tied to backup quarterbacks.
But the running backs are way better plays. You know what this
Yeah.
reminds me of, Reebs? I will tell you the exact week that this reminds me of. I'm gonna bring people way back. Do you remember Robert Foster, Reebs?
Yeah.
Robert Foster, Australian for beer. So in week 16, there was a week where, do you remember Duke Williams, also a member of the Buffalo Bills? There was a time when Robert Foster was
Yeah, it was the Tua
stone
game.
chalk.
It was the Tua game.
It was this game.
Tua Buffalo. I think the Bills scored 50.
No, it was this game. It was this game right here against the Jets. Matt Barkley threw for 232 yards. Everyone played Robert Foster, who went 0-0-0. Duke Williams had 12 targets, 6 receptions for 108 yards. It reminds me of this game where everyone played Robert Foster and it was Duke Williams. Now, I'm not saying that is the same analog with Shavers. What I am saying, some 3K wide receiver is getting 100 yards this week. It's just happening.
Sure, but are you gonna predict it?
I'm gonna try.
There are actual good receivers you can play that are cheap though on this slate. That's what's crazy. Like,
I would rather play Baker and punt a couple slots.
But you can play Jalen McMillan still with Baker if you want, and like he's still 4,600.
Well,
you can play Marvin. You can play Marvin Mims against the Chiefs backups.
This right here, dude. This lineup, I might just go submit this team right now before I forget. Look at this team. This team's sick. We got Baker, Bijan, Bucky, Evans, 3K wide receiver. Take your pick. Jalen McMillan, Peyton Hendershot, Blake Corum. I mean, ship it. Free. Yeah, there you go. All right, man. Let's do what we always do, and let's cook up a little pick'em here at the end. And I will. We could do Saturday games. We could do whatever you want, man.
I got a wild card one to see if it probably doesn't have a line, but what about Sam Darnold rushing yards?
No, they have a ton of stuff up for that. So I bet they do. 12.5 rushing yards.
Hit me with it.
Okay, bang. What's the logic there?
I did so Aaron Glenn historically, because they played. So here's the best thing about the Lions is since they started losing all their dudes, they've just gotten deeper down the rabbit hole of playing more aggressively. Yep. So the past 5 weeks, they're actually number 2 in the NFL in man coverage, number 3 in blitz rate. The past 3 years under Aaron Glenn, they've allowed the most rushing yards to quarterbacks. And in the first time these teams played, Darnold ran for 40 yards. So yeah, I like it. I think it's a low line. You can ladder it too. Get cute.
Yeah, definitely. You can certainly ladder it. In fact, I would maybe even encourage you to do so. So yeah, I like every hire in that game. I mean, obviously, like everyone. Reebs, have you sent your head-to-head game to the Cash Game King yet? Have you sent Revertsy Top?
I think no, because he's booked, right? Didn't he maxed out? Didn't he?
Maxed out at 5 and lower. You could still send him a 10.
All right.
You can still send the King.
I thought I saw him tweet that he had accepted his limit or something.
Well, he did hit his deposit limit, so he can't get more money on, which is very funny. So he's going to be maxed out at the total amount.
It's a great bit. Pete is the king.
It is. I mean, I just wanted on the record that the bit would not exist without me. It was my idea to begin with, but he would never give me that credit. You know what? I'm going to take another over from this game as well. This is as easy as it gets. I'm going to take Jared Goff to have over 200 or over 299.5 passing yards here. I think this game, not an original thought, but this game is going to be nuts.
We talked about it last week when we, apologies to Packers fans, but we wanted this. This is what we wanted.
We did want it. We want it.
And the NFL season with all the stakes, the highest game total we've had all year. All the stakes on the line.
It is pretty cool, right? It's basically an early playoff game.
Yeah, and listen, I have no shade towards Packers fans, but this is what we wanted.
Yeah. Okay. there we go. That one's easy. Reebs, you can have your pick next.
Do you just want to make
We could do
a
an
whole
eight.
ticket?
Eight,
You want to do a whole
legger.
ticket off this
Yes.
game?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
got to go Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, we got to go. We'll do Justin Jefferson. We'll get him up to.
We don't have to. We can always mix in some other stuff.
No. This is more fun. This is more fun because it'll be, cash game week will be done and I'll need something to sweat and I won't even have to sweat. I'll just be able to go right back to this game. So we've got Justin Jefferson.
So I don't know if anyone knows this probably because Justin Jefferson. So Justin Jefferson's played 4 games in Detroit. He has 730 receiving yards in those games, which doesn't even sound real. Like it shouldn't happen. But when these teams played in week 7, Detroit played man coverage 55% of the time. They blitzed 42% of the time. Jefferson leads the team in target share against the blitz, against man coverage. He's torched Aaron Glenn. And they had Carlton Davis in that first matchup. So, I mean, it should be a big double J run out. Yeah.
I mean, there's also been this trend the last couple of years where Jefferson has sucked in week 17. The money week for best ball.
Yeah.
And then totally bounce back. So in 2023, he goes in the money week 5 for 59. Then against Detroit last year in week 17, 12 for 192 and 1. In 2022, which I believe 2022, it didn't happen because they had the playoffs locked up. Then in 2021, 6 for 58 in the money week, 5 for 107 and 1. So yeah, I'm willing to put this as just a stone lock. All right, we took JJ there. We should balance it out with some lower somewhere. Is there anyone in this game that you want to take a lower on?
What?
Maybe let's do Hawkinson to 49.5, right?
I mean, what is the Jahmyr Gibbs, dude?
Jahmyr Gibbs longest rush, of course.
His longest rush opened at 16.5.
17.5. We still like it. I still like it.
Yeah, we still like it.
Okay.
I think on DraftKings, I did a peek this morning when I bet the Darnold rushing yards because I did bet the Darnold rushing yards already and did a little. Hit Jahmyr Gibbs, I think to have 100 and 125 total yards in the game was like minus 165, which is like just stupid.
That is preposterous.
What are we doing?
You like anything on Aaron Jones? Anything leaping out about him to you?
Not really. He's a little banged up. He's like the one guy I'm like not super in love with in this game, but that's fine. All
right, let's take him not to score then. You good with that? Aaron Jones to record a
taking
touchdown?
A lower in this game feels just wrong, but that's fine.
All right. Well, here we could do. We'll do this then. We'll do lower than 79.5 rushing yards. We'll tease it all the way up. It's a really high number if he is a little bit banged up. There you go. I like the Vikings to win this game. Unpopular opinion, but I like the Vikings to win this game.
I don't really have a great lean, but I don't bet against Dan Campbell.
Do you
think if you bet this game, you just bet the over and try to have
I was gonna say you just take the over and you strap in for maximum fun.
Yes.
Or do you like Akers not to score a touchdown? We remove Aaron Jones and we take Akers not to score a touchdown and we just say it was kind of just a fluky one game thing and they need Aaron Jones this week.
I'm fine with that. Just betting against Akers to score a touchdown seems pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. Nailer receiving yards, 12.5. I mean,
probably pretty low.
That's very low. Yeah. Let's do Akers and all right. Reebs,
well, you took Goff's receiving yards. I mean, you got to fire some Amon-Ra.
You're right.
Or you took Goff's passing yards. Like, there's no way you don't Amon-Ra.
All right, there we go. We got Amon-Ra. We'll do him to 79.5. This 8-leg entry, that's pretty good. 82.5 with a very correlated amount. Let's get this up so I can win a minimum of $1,000. There we go. The perfect. Is it going to?
That's what a way to end the season.
Yeah. There we go. All right. We have got, for the audio listeners, Sam Darnold, 12.5 rushing yards. Jared Goff, 299.5 passing yards. Justin Jefferson, over 99.5. TJ Hawkinson, over 49.5. Jahmyr Gibbs, higher than 17.5 for his longest rush. Cam Akers not to score a touchdown. Jalen Naylor higher than 12.5 receiving yards. Amon-Ra St. Brown 79.5 receiving yards. All right, Reebs.
Good times.
That's how you do it. That's really how you end the year. All Vikings Lions overs except for Cam Akers. Same game slip on Underdog. We love to see it. What do you got coming up? What's your plan for the playoffs?
I still do worksheets for the playoffs, write up all the games, and that's really all I do for the postseason. I'm still part of like the props package, so like I'll be part of like the props we give out. So that's it. This is a pretty good time for me. There's fewer games every week from this week onward, so you love to see it. I think these playoffs are going to be fun. I think both sides of the both conferences are set up to be pretty fun. I mean, granted, like Steelers Texans probably won't be that fun in round one, but like the overall package, I think could be fun.
It could be. I mean, what's the NFL Network game? Is that going to be Houston Pittsburgh? That'll be the Memorial Andy Dalton TJ Yates game. Remember that game every year?
The Saturday afternoon slot. Right, like the stuff of that's the like the opening game that used to always be Bengals Texans. It was like Schaub versus Dalton, and I think one year it was Yates versus Yates versus Dalton too. Right, like they played 2 years in a row. I think it was Texans Bengals.
The TJ Yates game. Do you remember the game? Who was
Andre Johnson? What a demon Andre Johnson was.
Who was the Raiders quarterback who had to start that poor guy?
Oh, Connor Cook. That was against the Chiefs. Nile Davis ran the opening kickoff back, I think, or a kickoff back. Maybe not the opening kickoff, but I think Nile Davis ran a kickoff back. Remember that dude?
I big time remember Nile Davis. Nile Davis was a big Davis Mattek favorite. He was a
week 17 hero or week 16 hero too.
He was multiple times. He smashed. All right, you're about to go do the show with Mr. High Low.
Yeah, they have and that's the last one for me and High Low. So I want to see how he did. I know he fired in the 3-3-3 last week. Yeah. So we'll see how he did. But
all right, folks. Reebs is gonna get out of here. Nez is not available today. He's living his truth out there. So we are gonna head on over to Unabated and we are gonna fire some pick'ems.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We're coming back, right? We're picking games.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be here. I guess we'll take the weekend off for the Pro Bowl weekend or whatever, but you and I will be firing until the Super Bowl. Now, when you get your nose into the weeds on the prospects, we also got to do that because I'm
oh yeah, we'll shoot the shit on these prospects, man, for sure. You see him?
Do you see him, bro? Do you see him? Is he in the NFL right now? Is Sammy Watkins on an NFL roster?
No.
Texans could use him. Right now. Sammy Watkins at this age or Robert Woods at his age.
Xavier Hutchinson.
It's tough. Can't believe they are gonna have a home playoff game. All right, man.
All right,
go check out High Low.
Later, guys.
Everyone, there you go. That was Mr. Rich Hribar. We are now going to shift over into the unabated DFS pick'em aspect of the show. Nez, not available today. He sent me a message that he is not available, so he's not going to be here today. So we are going to head over to a different tab over on Unabated. By the way, that is the odds screen that I have pulled up. I believe they are running a sale right now. Also, if you are at all interested in Unabated, I think they had a sale going for the new year. I also it looked like I had a free pick for the NBA. I have a no sweat pick for the NBA. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this real quick. Who is playing tonight? Charlotte and Detroit. There's no Jaden Ivey. We are going to take Cade Cunningham for a triple-double. This is a no sweat. Cade Cunningham for a triple-double. And, we got a revenge game here for my guy, Isaiah Hartenstein. We're going to take Isaiah Hartenstein for a double-double. And we are going to do that for $10. That is my no sweat token for the NBA. I can just go ahead and post that real quick. Let's head back over to Unabated. We'll go to the DFS Pick'em tool. We're going to go to Underdog Fantasy, slide it 100% towards the blitz. Now, I think Cardi will probably, he's not going to have every player projected that he normally will, but we're going to check it out, and we are going to see what we can see, and we're going to build some entries. I wonder if Nez, I'm going to send Nez a message right now and see if he has any legs for the Hateful Eight. Because I don't want... By the way, did you guys see how we lost the Hateful Eight last week? The Hateful Eight last week was 7 out of 8 going into Monday night. Do you know who the 8th leg of the Hateful Eight was? Ricky Pearsall. We had Ricky Pearsall lower than 1.5 receptions, which I think got dusted off on the first drive. Pretty sure it got dusted off on the first drive. All right. Do I have anything? Oh, I need to use a profit boost token. So let's remember on one of these legs to help me use my 25% profit boost. I also have a streak that I need to fill in. I wonder, actually, are there any NCAA football lines? Nope. Nothing is up for the NCAA. Okay. Historical Anomalies was listening to a gambling pod yesterday, and that said the pros are down under 50% this year, picking lines and totals. Book sims are getting good. Well, there is a reason. I always say this, that the buildings in Las Vegas are so tall. Now it's time for the Unabated DFS Pick'em to begin. First line, Drake May lower passing yards. The Underdog line is set at 210.5. Cardi's got him for 180.2. Gotta be honest. Noah Gray is not playing. Noah Gray will not be playing. By the way, I missed the super chat from Vandy. Thank you for the nice year. Enjoy $69.69 worth of Chipotle burritos on me between the Membies and the super. That is how you say thank you to your favorite streamer. You say that. Yes, everything is tall for me. That's a good point. Okay. Bo Nix lower passing yards, or Drake May lower passing yards. So one of the reasons why I like this is there's like a pretty good chance he doesn't play the entire game. This has been like a good number for him. You know what? I don't want to bet against my boy May. I do not want to. This is a good point. I actually don't want to take this May lower just because I don't philosophically believe in it. I do philosophically believe in the Russell Wilson lower passing yards. That one's pretty easy. The Jared Goff higher passing yards, we've already covered that one. Dude, the Jordan Love passing yards, why would it be 223? Why? That feels insane. Jordan Love, I mean, he just like never passes for that many yards. Particularly, he never passes for that many yards. Joe Milton getting first team reps. Well, I don't want it to be canceled either. Could be. All right, you guys talked me back into it. You guys talked me back in. We're in Drake May lower passing yards. Obviously, no chance am I taking a Bijan Robinson lower on the rushing yards. But yeah, Jordan Love, I mean, he has so many games under 230 passing yards that his dropbacks are going to be really light. Really, really light. Not taking the Geno lower because I know he's got the incentive stuff. Calvin Ridley lower receiving yards. Yeah, there we go. That feels pretty straightforward. All right, first leg of this is Russell Wilson. Oh, I'm on the NBA tab. Russell Wilson, lower passing yards. That feels pretty straightforward. Jared Goff, higher passing yards. That feels even more straightforward. Let's actually tease that up to 279. Take care of a little bit of that rake. Pains me to do it, but the Drake May lower passing yards does feel like the right side. Especially, I mean, if there's any benching risk at all, then you're just are running very pure. We'll do Jordan Love, lower passing yards, 223.5, and Calvin Ridley, lower receiving yards. Again, something I view as fairly straightforward. Jacob's already talking about not getting a lot of carries. Any Malik, nothing yet, I don't think. Yeah, I think Lamar is super likely to be taken out early with that spread. Like very, very likely to be taken out early. I mean, an 11-point team total. That is, I've never really seen anything like that. All right, this is the first unabated approved DFS pick'em entry. Russell Wilson lower than 234.5 passing yards. Jared Goff higher than 279.5 passing yards. Drake May lower than 210.5 passing yards. Jordan Love lower than 223.5 passing yards. And Calvin Ridley lower than 62.5 receiving yards. That is in the YouTube chat. And that is in the YouTube description, which I think is a nice little touch. Unabated DFS pick'em entry number 1. All right, there we go. The big board bags, you want to do the big board is coming here soon. The big board is going to be here so soon. Sooner than you can even imagine. Interesting that Derek has value on Tyrone Tracy, higher rushing yards. I'd be going the other way. Also, don't love... Oh, here's a very good angle. Here's a good angle for you guys. Chargers starter lowers. Because if... What's the seeding permutation? I gotta check the seeding permutation. But basically, the motivation for the Chargers is going to be known based on what happens in one of the Saturday games. I can't remember. It's the Chargers' motivation is basically 0 if the Steelers win, pretty high if the Steelers lose. I agree. I agree with this. I think the Dobbins under could be good anyway. But the Chargers are definitely going to play their guys. But I just did a show this morning with Pat Mayo, and he said that he is kind of hearing that the Chargers might rest their guys. We are going to take lower than 75.5 rushing yards for J.K. Dobbins. Jerry Jeudy, 53.5 is what Derek has, or is what Underdog has. How many did Jeudy get with DTR last week? My God, he got 18 targets last week. Jerry Jeudy got 18. You know what? We got to do it. We got to take the higher on 53.5 receiving yards for Jerry Jeudy. Of course, is this the most Derek Carty thing you've ever seen? To see Mike Evans a lower on Mike Evans receiving yards. I can't even possibly believe it. Aiden O'Connell higher passing yards. I mean, every week with the Aiden O'Connell passing yards. Aiden O'Connell, he's thrown 242, 257, 340, 227 in his starts. That one is one thing Nez has definitely been right about has been Aiden O'Connell. So we're going to take him over 228, something he has beaten all games but one as a starter. Derrick Henry higher rushing yards, huh? Not sure I can co-sign that one. Mike Williams, lower receiving yards. I can definitely co-sign that one. How much has Mike Williams even been playing? Mike Williams has got to have like a crazy low route share since George Pickens returned. Mike Williams actually did play 41% of the snaps against Kansas City. That's sort of interesting. Looks like he still played the fourth most snaps of wide receivers, but I guess he rotated in quite a bit. Miles thinks it's Mike Williams is weak. I don't know. I'll leave that one alone. Najee higher receiving yards. Be curious to see what the usage has been like between Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren the last couple weeks. Let's head on over to the utilization report for the Pittsburgh Steelers running backs, and let's check for the last month of the season. Najee Harris, only 6% of the targets, pretty good targets per route run, really nice target share for Jaylen Warren. Wow. Yeah, Tyreek is insanely down bad. You could argue this is as down bad as Tyreek has ever gotten. All right, let's do it. We'll do higher Najee receiving yards. Again, sort of interesting that there's value shown on Tracy rushing yards, but lower on his receptions. Bijan Robinson, higher receiving yards. That one feels pretty good. Bijan, the last month of the season, 10% of the targets, 12% targets per route run. No 2-minute drill. The 2-minute drill, I guess they've had no 2-minute drill, but that feels pretty low. Tyreek hit Rick's week 17 lineup. Tough. All right. That's 5. There we go. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if Tyreek will be mid-second. I think he might be later, bro. I think we might have seen the Jovering. All right, we have got J.K. Dobbins lower than 75.5 rushing yards. We have got Jerry Jeudy higher than 53.5 receiving yards. We're going to take the higher on Aiden O'Connell passing yards. We're going to take Najee Harris over 7.5 receiving yards. What's his receptions line? 1.5? Yeah, I think we just do 7.5. And Bijan Robinson receiving yards. Bijan Robinson receiving yards. I like that better than the rushing yards, actually. What, did I miss one? Dobbins rush, O'Connell pass, Najee. No, it's all there. All right, there we go. We have got entry number 2 that is in the YouTube chat. All right, let me do the timestamp there. Unabated DFS Pick'em entry number 2. No, Tyreek would not be a first rounder anymore. Tyreek playing with Worthy and with Rice and with Hollywood and Hopkins. I mean, I'm assuming it's only one of Hollywood or Hopkins, but it's not great. Didn't see a Javon Baker line yet. They said, Miles, Chase Brown was going to be a game time decision, but my vibes are leaning towards him probably not playing. I think we are unlikely to see our boy Chase Brown playing this week. You know what? I'm liking the board on Unabated this week, so I think we just keep cooking. I think we take Jimmy Garoppolo higher passing yards, Now, are there any Rams wide receiver lines available? I'm going to guess there aren't, but maybe there are. There are not. There are not. Okay. We'll do Jimmy Well, 1 extra yard gets us a little bit of a multiplier there. So we'll take Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, historical anomalies. We saw in that Tyreek play last week where he got shoestring tackled. I mean, the issue is that he just has lost a little bit of juice. Not a ton, but he's lost a little bit of juice. And Tyreek with a little bit less juice is just not as good of a player. All right, Cardi is also on board with the Sam Darnold higher passing yards. Also on board with the Jalen Naylor higher receiving yards. Elijah Moore higher receiving yards. I like that. And wow, look at that discrepancy for the Brian Thomas higher receiving yards. Wow, we are absolutely cooking today. Could definitely be a Joe Burrow 50 pass attempt Higgins farewell game. I am look, famous last words, but I'm feeling very good about the menu that we are getting this week. At least I am directionally aligned with many of these plays, which you could argue is good. Maybe it's bad. You never know. Jalen Naylor. Let's take Jalen Naylor up to 19.5. You know, he just catches a long one. We have got Elijah Moore. We are going to take Elijah Moore for 23.5 receiving yards. And Brian Thomas Jr. Brian Thomas Jr.'s look way too low. Like way too low. All right, there we go. Another simple one. Jimmy Garoppolo, higher than 199.5 passing yards. Sam Darnold, higher than 279.5. Jalen Naylor, 19.5. Elijah Moore, 23.5. And Brian Thomas Jr., higher than 79.5. I know. How is, like, I feel like you could legitimately bet it up into the 60s. I really feel like you could. That game is just going to be so unbelievably fun. And it's going to be on the same time as we're doing the Gilcast during Cash Game Week. So, you know, take your what are you going to be more entertained by? The Cash Game King? I don't think that that Underdog has released the Deontay Johnson TD props yet. But maybe they will. They said he's going to be out there. They did say he's going to be out there. Deontay Johnson. Yep, nothing. Nothing for old Deontay yet. All right, let's do the Octopus first. We'll do Henry. Sometimes you got to just take a free one. Not going to take anything from Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. We'll do Mike Evans, and we'll do Bucky Irving. I think that feels pretty strong. We'll do, I mean, how does Mike Evans, we might do Mike Evans 2 touchdowns on the super slider. No lines for Brian Robinson Jr., I suppose, because Austin Eckler is potentially coming back off the 21-day IR. Nick has bet BTJ's yards every week this year. Week 1, he was at 40.5. Most places have Vele projected over his 17.5 receiving yards. Yeah. Any 2025 rookies jump out to me in Dynasty this year? Yeah, there are a couple, but I mean, I'll tell you one guy I'm going to have a ton in my leagues is going to be Jalen Milroe. Milroe in Superflex stuff is going to go too light. I really like Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. I think he's probably closer to Tyler Warren than people want to believe. But yeah, I'm just getting in to digging around on all the rookies. All right. Let's just take the chalk here. We'll take Bijan to get a tud. So all the good chalk. What is Will Shipley chasing? They don't have our boy Will Shipley chasing up. Only Drake May, literally only Drake May in Buffalo, New England. No Houston Texans up. The Jacksonville guys are grayed out now. They do not want us to thrive. Oh, every week, Javonte Williams not to score a touchdown. I mean, does not get any simpler than that. We will do. Let's take Charbonnet for a rushing plus receiving touchdown. Kenneth Walker on IR. It's true. Loveland was the number one tight end, and dynasty managers are just not as locked into that stuff. What do we have for San Francisco, Arizona? Be very funny to take Trey McBride this week. Nothing up for Michael Carter. Bowers at 1.48x. Yeah, we'll do Mr. Bowers. Big game, big slate for Mr. Bowers. That's 7. And we'll just add Jahmyr Gibbs. So that gets us to 24.5x. So that is a little lighter. But the first Octopus this week, I guess it's not a full Octopus because we do have one lower in here. But it is Derrick Henry to score a touchdown, Mike Evans to score a touchdown, Bucky Irving to score a touchdown, Bijan Robinson to score a touchdown, Javonte Williams not to score a touchdown, Zach Charbonnet higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns, Brock Bowers to score a touchdown, and Jahmyr Gibbs to score a touchdown. Yeah, nothing up for Mitch or any of the Bills yet. I'll be interested to see what they post for Tyrell Shavers. He probably is the most interesting to me. Shavers, I think, is I don't think he's a particularly good player, but I do think they are gonna give him the ball a good bit. He's kind of my DFS sweetheart this week. McBride could technically get it as well. Yeah, Bowers. All right, let's start the slider there. Let's start the slider with Bowers. Oh, Bowers, we can't do the receptions. No slider for Bowers receptions. Well, isn't that a shame? Isn't that a gosh dang shame? Having to do the old refresh here. All right. Back to the coal mines. Oh. Here, let's apply the wait, no, I have to use the profit boost for something today. Any of you guys have opinions on, let's see. Let me go back over to Unabated, the odd screen. 65.5 is the total in North Texas and Texas State. The total in Minnesota, Virginia Tech is 42.5. I like this one. I do like Jalen Warren. We'll toss Jalen Warren in the next one. I need to use my odds boost real quick. What do we have for oh, there we go. Look, wow. We even have I literally did not know Unabated had this odd screen for college football props. Pretty sick. So if we compare, looks like, do we have anything for rushing yards? Looks like the best receiving odds is this guy, Joey Hobart. Oh, they don't have the yards up for him, though, at Underdog. All right. I guess I'll have to work on that on my own time. All right. Time for everyone's favorite, the Hateful Eight. We will begin Are they even offering me options? I was going to say, it'd be so funny. They don't even offer any options to not take touchdowns on the Browns players to say these Browns players don't score. That's about as funny as it gets. You can't even say, you can say Donta Foreman doesn't score at 0.67x. That's really funny. All right. Let's start by taking Najee Harris not to score a touchdown at 0.89x. We will continue. They're not letting us take Rachaad White. In Washington, Dallas, there's not an obvious one there. Carolina, Atlanta. I'm taking Mooney not to score a touchdown at 0.73x. Continue to believe that Darnell Mooney is very much a Tampa Bay Buccaneers merchant. Josh Jacobs not to score is very low. Although the Packers' motivations is not particularly clear to me. I'm going to take DeAndre Swift not to score a touchdown at 0.74x. Actually, I'm going to just take his lower. I'm just going to take lower than 47.5 rushing yards for Mr. Swift. No yards available for the other tertiary Giants players. Trying to see. I don't really want to take a Neighbors under after he went super nuke last week. Houston, Tennessee. Is Tony Pollard going to play? Tony Pollard right now, you get paid 1.08x for him not to score a touchdown. That seems crazy. I guess it is all Houston backups. Sure, I will take lower than 101.5 Jonathan Taylor rushing yards. I will take Javonte Williams not to score a rushing touchdown. Javonte Williams is not a part of the offense. It's crazy. Yeah, Pollard does have incentives live. That is true. And I hope he gets them because he absolutely deserves them. We'll do Justin Herbert lower than 237.5 passing yards. It's the Raiders. It's got to be some hateful entries we can do for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, how about Marvin Harrison Jr. not to score a touchdown? That feels pretty simple. And do we want to do Breece not to score a touchdown? Garrett Wilson not to score a touchdown? We'll do Breece Hall. Because if I'm remembering correctly, I think his usage has continued to trend down. Yeah, Breece 47% of the snaps last week. Brother, I hit 1/8 leg. We hit an 8-leg under pick'em, and I am all the way in on lowers now. All right, here we go. That is in the YouTube description. Shane Porter, running back for North Texas. Let me check for you. Rushing yards. Unabated has. Looks like they got nothing. They got nothing pulled through for Porter. Only rushing yard stuff they have is for Lincoln Parr and the quarterback Jordan McLeod. So there we go, folks. The Hateful Eight for the week. We did our best without our boy Nez. We got Najee not to score, Darnell Mooney not to score, DeAndre Swift lower than 47.5 rushing yards, Jonathan Taylor lower than 101 rushing yards, Javonte Williams lower touchdowns, Justin Herbert lower than 237.5 passing yards, Marvin Harrison Jr. not to score, and Breece Hall not to score. We have submitted that entry. That's what I thought. The unabated CFB team doesn't have projections for. Shockingly, they don't have projections for Texas State and North Texas. It's just, I can't say that I gotta hold my feet to the fire for that one. I really can't. Well, is that what I should use my promo boost on? Shane Porter. Can I get a Shane Porter game log? Well, what's the deal with the North Texas Mean Green? North Texas CFB reference. Great website, by the way. North Texas. Shane Porter averages 53.6 yards per game as a rusher. DT Sheffield, I assume he opted out. And I think Chandler Morris opted out as well. So we are looking at North Texas backups. Yeah, we are. This is some dark stuff. Guys are opting out of an in-state rivalry. All right. We are going to take, wow, it's the same. You guys see that? It's 1x on both. We are going to take Shane Porter, higher rushing yards. Is Texas State playing their starters? Texas State, Jordan McLeod. Ishmael Mahdi, he is not playing. And Joey Hobart. Lincoln Parr. Yeah, Hobart. We will yeah, I would not play a Darius Taylor under that. That seems frightening. For Texas State, we could do a Cole Wilson or Joey Hobart over. Joey Hobart is 5.5 receptions. Cole Wilson is, why does Jaden Williams have receiving yards and the rest of them don't? All right, we're gonna do Jaden Williams. We'll do him. Well, we're still bad odds. Okay. Firing that. There you go. If you want to tail along in the chat. That's a great question. Where will Cam Scatabo go in the big board? Probably too high. Old Cam Scatabo. But can you blame us? The guy is a legend. All right, we are back on track now. Back to the National Football League. So we've done now we got to do the super slider. Now it is time to do the super slider. We will begin highest confidence spot. We are going to take Justin Jefferson up to 119 yards. Very simple. We are going to take Mike Evans up to 119 yards as well. That already has us at a 6.82x multiplier. I think that we should do Bijan Robinson to 100. Well, I actually feel less confident about that. Can we do, what is Bijan Robinson 2 touchdowns? Not big enough. Not as big as you'd want it to be, actually. We could do Brian Thomas. Oh, they took Brian Thomas Jr. is gone. That's what I thought too. My first thought was Brian Thomas Jr., but they took him away. There must have been an announcement of some sort. Maybe I just need to refresh. We'll try a refresh and see if we've got more. That's what's going to happen though in these slates is some of the value is going to be taken away just because the board is less appealing. All right, we got Brian Thomas Jr. stuff back. We'll do Brian Thomas Jr. we'll do 109.5 for Brian Thomas Jr. And then I would like to take a Brock Bowers reception slider. There we go. Brian Thomas Jr. to, let's do 9.5 receptions. That gets us to we'll do the old 5 and 5. So look at what they took from us, and then look at what they gave back to us. It's beautiful. The super sliders, by the way, we got to Jonathan Taylor 2 touchdowns last week. It's been a little bit closer than you would think. We're running pretty good on these. Nez has been on fire, of course, with the Aiden O'Connell stuff. I didn't click reuse players. That's so annoying. All right, what are some of the other angles that I would like to take some of the San Francisco stuff, but there's just not any of the guys available. I would like to take Blake Corum's stuff, but Blake Corum is not available. I'd like to take Carson Steele. So, you know what? I did want to take Estime touchdown. That was one of the angles I really believed in. I do want to take a Will Shipley touchdown, but he is not available. Yeah, it's just kind of tough. Let's add in a Bijan Tud. Let's add in the Bucky Tud. Add in the Henry Tud. And the Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. Look how light that multiplier is on Jahmyr Gibbs. That is so funny. Yeah, this is basically just not the best menu available. But this will be the Audric Estime touchdown one. We have Estime to score a touchdown, Bijan Robinson to score a touchdown, Bucky Irving to score a touchdown, Derrick Henry and Jahmyr Gibbs to score there you go. We'll run back the Warren one here real quick. Let me put this link in the description. Yeah, Jaylen Warren, you are right. The Jaylen Warren is getting goal line stuff. He is a little bit mispriced now. The Audric Estime touchdown entry. Bang. All right, Jaylen Warren. 1.45x is a little light. And we'll do Estime, and we'll do Bowers, and we'll do McBride. This will be the perfect slappy one. What other slappy leg do you add in? How do you make it the perfect slappy leg? I guess you add in Hawkinson. There you go. That'll be a revenge game for TJ Hawkinson. We'll do 10 on that one. No, I want to win a minimum of 1,000. There we go. That is the super slap right there. That is. Does it get any slappier than Jaylen Warren, Audric Estime, Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, and TJ Hawkinson? Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, and TJ Hawkinson walk into a room and they just do the Spider-Man pointing meme. That's so funny. The all slappy entry. All right. Let's head back over. I did want to look. Oh, that's right. The future simulator is shut down. I did want to look at the Massey Peabody ratings though, because it was interesting to me that the Lions are so much higher than the Vikings. Look at, and this was just updated yesterday. The Massey Peabody rating has the Ravens far and away number one. Far and away number one. 11.5 Massey Peabody rating. The Lions at 8.45. I think I disagree with Professor Peabody, or I guess Professor Massey and Rufus. I think the Lions should not be that high based on the strength of their defense. The Davis Mattek rankings would have the Bills ahead of the Lions. Actually, the Eagles would probably be the number 2 team, in my rankings. I think I would have the Vikings over the Packers for sure. Honestly, the Chiefs seem about right. Yeah, it's because the Ravens do all the stuff. Their analytics profile is just unbelievable. The Massey Peabody stuff. Like, it's really, they are so good on offense, and their run defense is so good. Like, they are third in the NFL in points, first in yards. Their defense ranks right middle of the road, but their yards differential is number 1. Their points differential is number 4. They've had a difficult schedule, and they allow no rushing. Number 1 defense in the NFL in yards per attempt allowed. Number 1 defense in the NFL in yards rushing allowed. The passing defense, much worse, right? I mean, still better. Yes, the Lions defense, although they are getting Alex Anzalone back, which I have been led to believe is a very big deal. I wonder if Alex Anzalone has any lines. He does not. No lines for Alex Anzalone. I've been led to believe that because he's the, what do they call him? He's the green dot. He's the guy who kind of keeps track of everything on defense. Yeah, they do really miss Hutch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not hating on the Detroit Lions. I think the Detroit Lions are great, but I think the Vikings are sort of close to them. Who do they have as the worst team? They have the Browns. I mean, part of it is the DTR stuff. Look at that change week over week, where the Browns lose over 2 points in ranking in a week. The Giants gain 3 points. The change week over week was huge. That's so funny. The 49ers are down 13 spots because of the switch to Josh Dobbs. That's so funny. I mean, the Colts, feels like the Colts should have been destroyed. I guess they scored a lot of points on offense, but the 13-point drop in the rating for the 49ers is very funny. The NFL wants the Kansas City 3-page story versus the Lions Cinderella first ring. Well, you got to tell me, Nick, are we going to see, are the Lions going to win on Sunday night? Because that is, for playoff best ball, it's pretty big. I want to check something for Mike Evans. I want to see how poorly we are getting it in with old Mike Evans on the prop simulator over on Unabated. Yeah, I'm a little bummed out with how weak the market has been. I thought we would get, I don't know. I guess I thought the backup stuff would already be posted right now. These books are being cowardly with their liquidity. All right, 97.5 receiving yards. How many receptions does that project for? Kate Otten, by the way, back on the menu. I guess 97.5. Well, let's just sim out here. I don't know. Let's give him 6.5, right? Is that normally what is Mike Evans? Normally 5 or 6. Yeah, social media has definitely ruined incentive week. Everyone knows about it. In fact, you probably would maybe even be more profitable right now with the incentive stuff going the other way. All right. So if Mike Evans's line was 97.5 and we played him up to 109.5, I actually think you are getting close to fair. No, you're not, because you're paying, when you take Mike Evans to, it's 177. We take Mike Evans to 109. Yeah, we're not, it's not fair, but it's not terrible. I do enjoy this tool though. It's one of my, sometimes I just click around on here. Cardi has Evans for 5.2, so it's actually going to look even worse. I wonder if there is a breaking. Actually, it got better. Actually, for whatever reason, in this sim, it got a little bit better for us. It moved it our way like half a cent. I know. Let's. How do we fade the incentives? What incentives can we fade? I'm not fading Mike Evans, but you could talk me into into doing. I wonder if there's anything on the prop screen that'll get me feeling some type of way. Gonna press the sim button. Yes, Baker has gone out of his way. It would be Pollard. And it just feels like, dude, Pollard, why are you even playing, brother? Yeah, I know. Pollard is like 80 yards and a touchdown, I think. But yeah, I don't know. What can you do? I haven't seen much other than the Pollard stuff. I know Bowers wants the record. 83-2. Imagine Pollard gets 83-2. By the way, I have not started drafting main battle royale this week. Alexander Madison, 67 all-purpose yards for 250K. I mean, what else are the Raiders even doing? I guess you could actually a way you could capitalize on that would be to you would fade Amir Abdullah. Oh, yeah, that would make sense that I'm on custom projections. There we go. Thank you. Ertz 2 touchdowns. I would never fade Zach Ertz. Wow. Some pretty gnarly edges here. Jerry Jeudy receiving yards, legit the best edge. And of course, Derek, is there a more the blitz play than Derek having a 32.9% edge? You know what, Adam? This is a great idea. Let's go. Zach Ertz. I'm taking Ertz for 1 tud. Ertz for 1. AOC passing with Jacoby Yards, Bowers rec. There we go. All right, we'll go AOC to 239. We'll go Bowers over 8.5. And we'll go Jacoby Myers to 69.5. This is the absolute chaos bucket scenario. Wentz plays like it's a Super Bowl and the Chiefs beat the Broncos. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine the sights and the sounds? I, for one, cannot. And I hope it does happen. But yeah, I'm not. The menu here, let's see. What else do we have that looks particularly good? Derek does have value on Amon-Ra St. Brown. A little bit of value on Terry McLaurin lowers. A little bit of value on. I do really like this. I like the. I'm very excited. I'm very, very close to having legalized sports betting. Apparently, by next NFL season, I will be able to come onto this menu on Unabated and just click around and go do all my favorite shit. If you want to slide, Jacoby needs 96 for how much? Oh, for 1K. All right, we're sliding. We'll go over 89.5. This is a great point. A lot of young quarterbacks have been bad. Why can we not run Carson Wentz back somewhere? Man, Ertz is pretty good. Dude, I am so far behind. Look at this. So I have in NFL, without even thinking about trying to do NBA or whatever, I've got 146 main BRs left to do. By the way, guys, do the double up, do the double doink. Please do not regret Underdog doing this contest. Please help fill the double doink for Peter. I have got 97 gauntlets left to do, and I've got 65 mitten twos left to do. We are down bad in terms of needing to get back on the grindstone. You guys want to do a playoff best ball draft, and we'll hop out of here. Here, let me pull up the Massey Peabody ratings again. So I'm gonna tail these, and I'm gonna try and build the Massey Peabody smasher. So it'd be a Ravens team, and it'd be preferring the Lions over the Lions over the Vikings. I just hopped in I actually just hopped in a gauntlet. I am in fact in the gauntlet. I answered the call. I put on the glove. Yeah. Well, you say tomato, I say tomato. I say, how do I possibly have time in my life to do the gauntlet and the mitten and main BR? Yeah, the move. This is the move. You gotta just sit down to do playoff drafts. That's a good question, Justin. Do you know what would generally happen? I used to use the Massey Peabody rankings way back in the day, like when I first started sports betting. I would guess the Vikings would get a pretty significant boost in the Massey Peabody stuff. But I am just very curious about the Ravens in general. All right, well, there we go. This is going to work out perfectly. We are going to be able to start with Lamar Jackson. I've been able to get Lamar. Oh, yes. Yeah, the Baltimore-Detroit matchup. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown, man. You're able to get Lamar and Amon-Ra St. Brown, which is pretty crazy. Finishing it up with a playoff best ball draft. By the way, guys, I will be back with Soccer Dave this afternoon, members only Swolecast at 1 p.m. Central Time. So an hour after I get off of here, I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to go have some lunch. I'm going to let the puppies out. I think I might work on rookie stuff a little bit, but then members only Swolecast is at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern. Matt won a college football confidence picks pool in 2017 using Massey Peabody lines with Vegas lines and ordering my confidence picks like that. Easy game. It's true. That is very similar to my experience with the Massey Peabody stuff, which I probably should have used more this year, and I did not. Yeah, that is why the simulator is offline. Is that game is just gonna do a ton. Yeah. If the Lions win, those teams are in a much worse spot for sure. I do. Yes. Dave, JJ and I have shared custody of Soccer Dave. He yesterday was David Kitchen's first day at work. Wow. We are. Please, Fat Jaffe, do not take St. Brown. You should take. Yeah, you should take James Cook or Devonta Smith. This would be bad for you to take St. Brown here. Please don't auto draft. But yes, yesterday was Soccer Dave's first day at work. I let him have the day off from the Swolecast. I'm a good guy. I bet Soccer Dave hasn't created the stream. Should we go check? Do we think there's any way that Soccer Dave has created the stream? that we are supposed to do in an hour. What do we think, guys? What's the line on if Soccer Dave has created the members only stream? Yeah, no. He's not created it. Let's do. Well, let's just do the easy thing. Let's take. Yes, as of right now, the Lions would be on the road at the Bucs in the first round, which is a pretty good matchup for them, honestly. I think that's the kind of style of matchup they would prefer because their defense isn't going to stop anyone anyways. So I guess that means that I have to create this stream all on my own. Swolecast, members only, week 18. It's a new year. All right, if you are a Swoley, that stream will be available for members only. I can confirm that it has been created and that it will be set up for Membies only. Yeah, but Lions are playing first to 40. That's so true. Bucs Lions would be a great game. Now, yes, no one wants to see Baker. What team does want to see Baker in the first round? The Bucs beat Detroit this year. People forget that. Yes, McVay is also an idiot. I don't know why he's doing this. I don't know why, but he is. It's true. Although, if you guys remember, the vibes around the Eagles last year, like, literally could not have been worse. Like a negative vibes team. It was really, really bad. All right. Should we do the let's do the Rams thing. Let's do Kyron and Puka right here. Well, this guy might take Puka, which would be annoying. But then we'll take Bateman, which is fine. Well, he definitely does. He definitely does want to rest his guys. That is, I do remember that. I remember people being out. I remember the Eagles ADP falling in these playoff contests, actually, last year. All right, Josh Lipper, take Laporta, brother. 56 total. Crazy. Damn, this guy's gonna auto draft, I think. Puka. Should have stayed woke. Oh no, he didn't. All right, Puka Nacua. There we go. We have got Lamar, Kyron, St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua. That is a hot start. Where are the Rams at? Higher than I thought, up to 12, higher than the Commanders, higher than the Steelers, higher than the Texans. How funny is that, by the way, for the AFC playoffs? AFC playoffs have the 17th Massey Peabody team, the 19th Massey Peabody team. The 21st team was live until last week. Yeah, that was the lowest team that was live for the playoffs until last week. The Colts, who actually gained a spot in the ratings last week because they gained a bunch of yards. Yeah. Well, they play very good defense. The Broncos play very good defense. They're how high are they? Shit, I mean, they're 11th. It's pretty good. What do my exposures look like? It's kind of a personal question. Here for Maine, this is what my exposures look like. Players above 20%, Mahomes, Worthy, Aaron Jones, Devonta Smith, AJ Brown, Mark Andrews, Jordan Addison, Kenneth Gainwell, Jameson Williams, Dallas Goedert, and Hollywood Brown. Ah, damn. I thought maybe there was a chance that Bateman would come back around. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The Chiefs and the Bills. And the thing is the Bills players don't score any fantasy points. But yeah, the Chiefs and the Bills are the teams you really want right now. Okay. Well, we can take another Lion. David Montgomery is eyeing a divisional round return. So I'm eyeing him to hit my lineup in the divisional round. Shout out to David Montgomery. Finish that game, David Montgomery. What a legend. What an absolute badass, David Montgomery. E. Coxer. His girlfriend took his phone to put in her Starbucks order and he missed 2 picks. Well, let's see. How bad is it, Eric? I'm assuming your name is Eric. I don't know why. I assume E just always stands for Eric. Could be Elliot. So this team cannot be sniped unlikely. We are really annoyed if we get sniped unlikely. Well, it's not that bad. You have 3 NFC teams instead of 2. Could be worse though. Those are all cogent pieces. And you are going to miss on Bucky Irving, which sucks when you have Evans. But I think you'll find a way. E for Equanimous. It could always be Equanimous. Your girlfriend picked Bateman. That's very funny. Nez, by the way, had no picks for the Hateful Eight. So I promise I wasn't ignoring him. All right. We have got Lamar. This team sadly needs Justice Hill. Justice Hill, a very important player in playoff best ball. We have Kyron, we have Demont, St. Brown, Zay Flowers, Puka Nacua, and Isaiah Likely. How did I know, man? How did I know it was Eric? E is always for Eric. It's just how it works. All right, Justice Hill, come on down. So now we have our 4 Ravens. So we're good with any Ram hitting the lineup. We are good with any Lion hitting the lineup. We can take one more Raven. We can take a shitty Raven. Or we can take 2 AFC players. Which is something I do. Have a great day, Matt. Yes, it is. It's incredibly good news that Goddard is alive and practicing. Although not so great if you were a big Calcaterra drafter like I was. So I think we should do another Lion. We'll do Timmy P, Timmy Patrick. And now you have to ask yourself, do we want Cooper Kupp? What is the Rams probability? So the Rams and Massey Peabody would be behind the Bucks. That is not great. They're way behind the Packers, way behind the Vikings. The only team the Rams and Massey Peabody are ahead of is the Commanders that they could conceivably play. Yes, I will be maxing the mittens. Playoff best ball, man. Playoff best ball is it's a beautiful game. It's probably honestly one of my, like, outside of, like, you know, the BBM or whatever, it's honestly one of my absolute favorite games. Correct. I agree. All right. Final pick here. I guess Cooper Kupp went. So I'll use this as an exposure smoothing spot. I'm going to take Charlie Collar. You heard me right. That is the type of play that helps you win a Super Bowl. Oh, Eric said he thinks he landed the plane. So he's got Mahomes with Kareem Hunt, Kelsey, and Hopkins. He has got Love with Jacobs and Kraft. So assuming Minnesota wins, this is his wild card lineup. Love, Jacobs, Bateman, Evans, Kraft. I think you landed the plane, brother. I think you landed the plane. I'm going to give that one to you. All right, guys. That's it. I'm going to go eat some lunch. I will see you guys all back in the Swolecast members only very soon. Like insanely soon. Like, I don't know how I'm going to get all my work done for the day, changing my schedule around for Soccer Day. The Swolecast is at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, members only. The video, I did just create the stream while I was doing that draft, so it's there. I will see all of you gentlemen there. I'll see you on Sunday morning. I'll see you back on this channel, 3 p.m. Central Time, the DFS stream with Karain and Neil. Hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all back at various stages over the next couple days. Happy Week 18. It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's short.